motherfuckers up internet round 2. The DM shat on our rogue's Christmas ham or something. I don't know. He took away sneak attack. What up? His session's canceled. I fucked up the first recording and my brain is now mushy.
I was about to say, now we're fucking up the second recording. Hello?
I'm still having an existential crisis over taking away sneak attack. I understand. You've explained to me how some DMs are like nerf or take away, but still, like, I just...
Yeah. I assume the inclination is people who do not understand game design just see big numbers go burr and say that needs nerfing.
I mean, sure, but like...
Okay, class, I'm going to take away your main feature.
I'm just laughing here because we're just like, no introductions this time around. Fuck it. Who cares? Like,
oh, yeah, wait. All right. Isaiah.
What's up?
Matt.
Hi.
Sam, have your crisis.
Okay. Okay, so like Rogue doesn't have I'm taking a massive L here because I've already gone this right.
Let it out.
Rogue doesn't have extra attack. If you don't have sneak attack, what do you do as a rogue to do damage? You're a martial class. Like if you're in combat, you just basically you're just like, okay, I do a D8 plus the magic.
You do 1d8 plus dex. That's what you do, Sam.
I do 1d8. Okay, that's my turn.
Plus dex. That's your turn.
It's just like
that's what you get, Chief.
Like at that point, you are literally either forcing your rogue to go, I don't know, assassin, so that you do the deadly strike. Hold on, what is it actually called? A death strike.
That's right.
At level 17.
Yeah.
Oof.
Or like, I don't know, any of the other ones. The problem is that, like, the more recent ones all have to do with sneak attack. So like, if you take away sneak attack, those subclasses are garbage.
All right, have you let it all out, Sam? You good now?
Paladins, no divine smite. Wizards, no spells. Druid, no wild shape. Let's just get rid of them.
Just get it all.
Just tear it all back to basics.
Like Paladin is a functional class without divine smite. Wizards without
Wizard
spells.
is not even functional.
It's not even functional.
It's not even a class.
Like
literally at that point, you are literally a commoner.
Yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a new class we're inventing.
At least Paladin has spells that it can use. Like,
Yep.
And they get extra attack. They don't need smite. Smite is very nice. I like using it. However, it's not like Rogue, where if you take away sneak attack, you are dissecting the class and then taking out its organs and saying, this works. It's alive still.
Let's see. For the fighters, we're going to take away their actions. They have no actions. They're not allowed.
They can't attack.
There's no actions.
We're taking away action surge.
No, just actions in general.
Actions,
they can't
period.
do any actions.
All right.
Are you?
Hold. I don't
Sam,
like this.
We have to move on from this rant at some point. Sam, please.
We need to stop dissecting classes and taking away their most important pieces.
Holy fuck.
We're supposed to have a whole, like... Yeah, we're supposed to have an ABC to these, like... core class, whatever the fuck we call these episodes. We just
handbook. It's not that hard to say, people. Handbook.
I mean, my brain
Jesus,
doesn't remember that.
Anyway,
core book, handbook, book.
Book. I like core book, handbook, book, core book.
Just putting more words on. This isn't a fighting game.
What?
Yeah, just put more words.
Why not?
What if I 236 see you?
Anyway, shush. Shit. 236.
Yeah.
What? C? You playing fucking Under Night? What?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Or Blaze Blue? I think. This is not important.
I saw a KOF thing earlier today about that.
Right. Anyway, if it wasn't apparent from the blithering stupidity of that first 4 minutes, we're talking Rogue. It's episode number 4 in the Class Handbook series. We're on the Roguey Boy, McStabby Mans, because Matt kicked my door in and held me at gunpoint and said we had to do this one next.
So here we are. I was there.
And was indeed there. Astral projecting, of course, but do with that what you will. There was so much chaos in that I have now lost my sanity I do not know what's going on anymore. I don't know who you people are. But you are going to tell me how you feel about Rogue on a 1 to 5 scale.
I just, whenever someone says, I don't know who you are, or I don't even know you people. Exactly.
Marty, I'm scared. Yep. Every time.
Every time.
Marty, I'm scared.
SpongeBob is just. I'm not going to bring that conversation to this, but SpongeBob is really iconic. I don't know. The jokes
SpongeBob,
are
I think, is a paladin fighter mix, maybe.
Fuck up, Matt. Anyway.
Nah, SpongeBob's definitely a warlock.
Oh my god, stop, please. Y'all are gonna, even if I don't know who you people are, you're gonna tell me how you feel about Rogue on a 1 to 5, who your favorite rogue in media is, and have you indeed played the said rogue. Does anyone have any strong contenders for where they would like to start? I'm not gonna describe the scale again because we're 3 episodes deep on this.
I mean, I can go. I'm currently playing Rogue. I like Rogue. I've been playing Rogue for a little bit now. I've dumped 3 whole levels into it. I think Rogue has probably the neatest subclasses of any class, honestly, minus some of the starting ones that we talked about before we started recording, and then during our first start of recording that y'all are not going to hear.
Attempt number 1.
But I think I'd probably throw Rogue at like 4, just because some of the subclasses I wish were a little bit more well thought out. Like, I love the idea of.
If I can translate, it would be a 5 if the PHB subclasses weren't so cool.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And some of the Xanathar ones, because it's like these are cool. I like them. However, they would be better if they just followed the more recent design philosophy of like taking the more social out of combat things and then tidying them up with the combat things, rather than being like level 9. You can disguise yourself real good and make an identity for yourself. Like, some of these are nice, and they would just be great if they were, by themselves. The quintessential rogue in like
by themselves and relatively high level is.
The high level thing is really awful too, because it's like
right, because like there's really no reason for the assassin infiltration expertise. There's really no reason for that to be level 9. It's not like level 9 powerful, really.
Yeah, and like assassin, I get it. Like, it specifically goes along with your assassinate and death strike abilities, but like that could be tied with assassinate, not a level 9 ability that doesn't really help you at level 9. Like, the power scaling of assassin is incredibly low at higher levels because of this.
That's why most people only dip the first 3 levels, maybe 4 if they want an ASI.
Yeah.
Most times.
Yep.
Well, that, and also a lot of the other classes at level 9 get such significantly cooler, more effective things. So it's like, not only is it not that great, you look at everyone else and go, why do you guys get nice toys?
I mean, like, Swashbuckler literally gets a taunt that lasts for a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
And that gives them disadvantage on everything but you.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
So there is a wide disparity between the good rogue subclasses and the bad rogues. Yeah, that's exactly why it says firmly at 4, because it's like these are some real bad things. Like, you end up just being like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna dip into rogue for a multi-class rather than being full rogue. Like, arcane trickster. So I'll try to oh my god, I forgot his name. Hold on, I had
game, movie, book.
The Garrett from Thief.
Garrett. Yep.
I was like, Geralt. No, that's not his name.
That's very close.
I always, whenever I try to think of Garrett's name, I usually think of Geralt because I'm like, these are very, very close.
It's like a 2-letter difference.
Garrett. Is it Garrett from
Matt? When I said you weren't going to guess one of mine, Garrett was the one I was talking about.
What is he from?
Thief, the video game.
Oh, Thief. Oh shit, Thief, bro. I should have. The last Thief game that came out, my buddy John obsessively played the game, and I watched him. I must have heard the name Garrett like 1,000 times. I don't know why I didn't make the connections.
I played the Thief reboot that came out a little while ago. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, but it
wasn't like God tier, but it wasn't.
It's
bad.
Also not like the original Thief, which is understandably not very easy to get into because it has
like 4 of them, right?
I think most people will tell you there's 2.
Well,
then there's like the modded versions, so like you can get those as well because I think there's 1, and then there's the modded version of 1, then there's 2, then there's the modded version of 2, and like those are all kind of separated from each other.
Oh, it's like counters.
Yeah, kind of, and like all of them are playable, and it's just that they all have like if you're playing like the way that knocking someone out works in one of them versus another, like Thief the Dark mod versus Thief is a little bit different. But yeah, either way, Garrett would be my like quintessential rogue. It's literally like
I mean he's a pretty hard one to.
He's his job, literally.
Yeah.
If only the Thief subclass was better, maybe I'd play Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big oof. And you have indeed played Rogue.
Yep. I have in fact played Rogue. Yep.
Have you played Pure Rogue at any point?
I don't think I've ever played Pure Rogue, no.
Interesting. Isaiah or Matt, anything speaking?
Yeah, I'll run it back. I'm probably also going to have to give it a 4.
Okay. For a similar reason?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I really like Rogue. I like most of the shit that Rogue does. But I feel like Rogue is a class that, like... You know, there are some classes where you're like, oh, you know, like, the subclass is sort of... It adds the spice. Mm-hmm. But I feel like with Rogue, the subclass is the dish, you know? Other than... Because if it's not, you're just... a fighter with only 1 attack, right? Because they have 1 less ASI. Their class is very ASI based. Yeah. So you're just sort of a skill jockey that can't do a whole lot. But the subclasses are, you know, again, what make it cool. And when the subclasses are cool, they're really fucking cool. But when they're not so cool, and then you get
really fucking not so cool.
Yeah, then you get, you know. I don't want to beat up Thief too much this episode, but then you get Thief.
Yeah.
Thief is pretty hard to argue with. It's just...
I mean, level
it kills
9
me because Thief...
Supreme Sneak. If you get advantage on stealth checks if you only move half your movement.
Yeah, the ultimate sneaky boy.
It really kills me because Thief has so much potential. For like flavor and role play and like the dynamic changing of a situation, but it just can't do anything in combat.
Well, I guess it gets more magic items, so maybe I argue that's a combat thing.
Yeah, right. I mean, ignoring
I do find it hilarious that a thief can, rules as written, use a Holy Avenger.
So that's a relic from
or a Dwarven Thrower.
Use Magic Device is a relic from 3rd edition.
Yeah.
So like I understand why they have it, and I think that it's a good ability. And and because you can ignore class restrictions, race, and level restrictions, although you don't see level restrictions that often. I can't even think of a magic item off the top of my head that requires a level.
I cannot think of one.
I don't want to sound like a hater.
What?
But I always thought that was so dumb that the thief can use just anything. And the only
because part of Rogue's identity used to be the fact that they knew how to use magic items because they would, steal them or be smart enough to figure out how they work. Because using magic items didn't used to Magic items didn't used to be like video game consumables, where it's just like hit the button, use the thing. You used to have to like make checks or meet prerequisites and shit.
Yeah.
Literally, the only characters that would ever use magic items are like wizards and rogues.
Yeah, unless it was a magic sword or whatever. In which case,
I mean, to put it's not a magic device. It's a sword.
Right. It wasn't a device.
It hit better, you know.
Yeah. So like it's weird, but it's like Sam said, it's this holdover thing that is like a cool idea, but doesn't, because of the way 5e's designed, doesn't
translate really well. Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of, and this is something we've talked about before. Like, there's not a whole lot of class specific items currently. Like they've started putting more into the game recently, which I like because class specific items helps the class have its own identity. And like, a rogue's not going to use every single one.
Also, class-specific items are a good like patch note to like
much.
Beef a class up.
Oh yeah,
totally. I mean, like, I don't think that they should be used specifically as a patch note because, like,
no, but you can use them that way.
Yeah,
it's
like,
funny.
It'll help the character perform better.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny if we turn back the clocks. I literally talked about that in one episode, right? Where like you can see that like Wizards was using at one point magic items to sort of patch away some things that like maybe didn't make too much sense about early content.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so it sits at a 4. Who's your quintessential?
I'm gonna go with Ezio. He's like the most iconic assassin, and beside the fact that he's real good at shiving, shanking, and stabbing, he's got the inquisitiveness. You have to like sneak and stealth your way in and out of things. You're a thief, and you're a bit of a like he swashbuckles, right? Like he dances around enemies. He fucking flourishes his sword and shit.
Charismatic as well.
He's very charismatic. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to Ezio.
You said Ezio, and my brain just turned off. I'm like, who? Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed.
Ezio Auditore.
It has been a long time. Let me tell you that I stopped playing Assassin's Creed after Ezio's last game. I just.
How many games
Revelations
did he
there?
get?
I said it.
I thought, okay, all right. So I thought the reveal at the end was cool. Every other part of it was kind of just like there. And I realized mostly that's because that's when the Ubisoft formula of like open world game is where it really kicked in for me. And that's when I was like, oh, I can't play these games anymore.
Yeah.
And like I just
all right.
like
I can't play these games anymore.
3, I never touched. Like after that, I literally have never touched an Assassin's Creed game. I just cannot do it.
I understand completely. However, Black Flag is so good, dude.
Literally everyone has told me that, and like I don't know. I just can't do it.
This sounds crazy. I played Black Flag for a year. And I spent almost every day for a year. And I spent most of that time just on my boat, just doing random bullshit. I don't even know how there was that much content. There probably wasn't. I just went out and fucking killed people for a while. I just saw like merchant ship and I was like, there it is.
I mean, I understand. A lot of my playtime in Assassin's Creed 1 was literally walk into town square, stab a guy, fight for like 10 minutes while I counter a bunch of
animations. The infinite spawning dudes in Assassin's Creed 1 was the funniest shit. Holy crap.
Like, I get it. So I understand. But like, it really became the formula that ruined it. And I understand that 4 takes like, it takes a step in a way different direction because Black Flag having, according to every person that I've ever talked to about this game, has probably some of the best naval combat in video games.
Correct.
I don't know. Like, and the thing is I really like naval combat in games. Yeah. Sly Cooper was the naval combat in Sly Cooper
in game
is probably what kicked that off, where I went, oh, this is fun.
Sly Cooper actually had surprisingly fun naval.
Yeah. Was that 2 or 3? 2, right?
3.
3?
3.
3.
because you go to the pirate city.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I just lost my train of thought, you bastards.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just like me thinking back to how the naval combat was one of the best parts of Kingdom Hearts 3.
No, I will not.
But all I remember is that it had naval combat, and that's only because you said it.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Matt.
Well, I assumed, but I didn't know they had naval combat.
Yeah, it was just Black Flag Light. It was just Diet Black Flag, and I was like, oh, finally a ray of sunshine in this miasma of darkness that is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Did somebody say the door to darkness?
Oh God, please no.
Anyway, Isaiah, you have indeed played Rogue.
Yes, I've played quite a few rogues in my time.
All right, Matt. Hit me with the spicy meatballs. All you.
All of it? All right.
Hot takes, please. Give them to me.
Hot takes. All right. The Rogue is the only... Fuck. There's a part of me that wants to give it a 5 just because of how much... Woo! I actually really love
Matt, you're
the
too
class.
nice to this fucking game.
Well, that's the thing. Well, so... There's
Nice.
part of it is probably the nostalgia of this was my first D&D class. It was like the first idea. And it was really what kind of hooked me into wanting to play and try
Durgans
D&D.
and the Durgans.
But I do think it is a 4. I do think it's a solid 4, honestly. There's so much.
Why is it 4?
Why 4? Well,
Why 4?
kind of like you guys said, it has a couple problems. Some of the subclasses and some of the features they get are kind of, but
Kind of.
But I think honestly, out of all, like again, kind of when they were making 5e and they were making these classes like the fighter, they made the rogue another like turn off your brain, very easy to pick up and play, has enough nonsense in it that you can kind of pull off some crazy shit as a basic bitch rogue. A lot of the features are cool. Yes, again, specific subclasses, maybe not like the assassin later on, but you know, I think literally there is something in any of the rogue subclasses that you can look at and like, you know, your eyebrows are raised and be like, ooh, what's that? I want to see that. Also, cunning action. Holy shit. It is such a good fucking feature. What the hell?
Yeah,
Very true.
It's very true, yeah.
And like fighters, like I kind of mentioned, they are very versatile. Like that's going to be a big thing with like, and probably a word that's going to be repeated multiple times throughout these
already
handbook,
said it every time.
book.
It is required for, sneak attack in a lot of instances. So, like, versatile. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
Would
I think
you say
they're really good. That's
versatile cool?
I would
No, I
actually say
refuse.
versatile cool. Yes.
Oh shit, he did it. He
my
said
goodness.
the thing, put it on a shirt.
Is the shirt just going to be a blank space? Cool.
Yes.
Like
It's
an
just-
underline.
So you can write in whatever you want on the blank space with spray paint.
Yeah. I just want
paint
Sam
on
to
your own
look
shirt.
like fucking just high as hell, just kind of like staring into the middle distance. Go, cool. On a shirt.
Yeah.
I almost said coked out, but I was like, no, then he'd be really hyper. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that doesn't.
Reevaluate.
It doesn't work.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Oh, God. I just had the
right.
terrible idea of having the image of the shirt put on, like, okay, so I wear the shirt, okay? But it has
Yep,
me
I can vision it now.
wearing the shirt. With me wearing the shirt, just an infinite recursion of me wearing the shirt.
Oh, no.
That would be awful.
Correct.
Third place.
It would be absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Multiple layers of shirts.
Yes. Not even multiple layers. It's just cool.
Anyway,
God.
Matt, who's the quintessential rogue for you? Speak your truth.
So I kind of have a little bit of a cheat dilemma
I'm gonna be
thing.
mad.
You're gonna be a little mad.
Yeah.
So
we've
my
heard.
quintessential rogue originally I pulled from, as I always do, I have a ton of names here. But the one that really stuck with me is someone actually from a D&D stream show. And I know where everybody's thinking. They're like, oh God, he's gonna say Vax. Oh man, what a loser. No, actually incorrect.
He's gonna say Scanlan.
No, God damn it. No, actually, so it's weird because I wasn't sure the rulings with Dean, like who is it in media, but whenever I think of a rogue, the first person I always go to is in Acquisitions Incorporated. Patrick Rothfuss's character Viari is the stereotypical like player rogue. He gets up to all kinds of shenanigans, uses, he has a dueling rapier, tries to sleep with any person around, really bad at pickpocketing, uses chandeliers to try and kill every enemy in sight, just jumping off, doing all sorts of acrobatics. He is the guy I think of whenever I think of like a rogue.
Well, Matt,
at least in terms of D&D, but I don't know if that counts because he is technically already in a D&D.
Here's the thing, Matt. Appreciate your opinion. And it's all right. Ding dong, you're wrong. And we'll see you on your way out. The keys will be next to your locker. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Sick.
Oh, you know what? The keys? I feel like.
Do you have a secondary answer? Jokes aside. Just out of curiosity, because I do feel like that's slightly cheating.
What were you gonna say first, Isaiah?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, for me, this is like a weird one for like a quintessential, but like Sinbad.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I would have also accepted Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's so many rogues. That's the
But Matt,
issue.
do you have a secondary?
Second one who's not a D&D related character. Yeah, look, fucking good basic bitch answer, Han Solo.
Oh. Not the character that you base an entire character off of? I see.
I don't. Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, wait.
Wait. Not Wesley.
You didn't do
well, that's the thing. No. So that's the thing. On my list, I have him, but I feel like Wesley's more of a rogue than Inigo.
I feel like they're both just different rogues.
Maybe they're both rogues.
Well, I feel like Wesley's more of a rogue because he's got the whole disguise. He's more of the trickster. He's smarter. Yeah. Whereas Inigo is more of the fighter duelist rogue, where you can kind of make the argument it's like, is he a swashbuckler?
I would literally say that Inigo is just a combination of fighter and rogue, but swashbuckler rogue. Right. Whereas, Wesley's
just a much higher level rogue.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think Wesley is more of a rogue than Inigo.
I mean, I understand. It's just
interesting.
You base an entire rogue character after.
Yeah, I don't think
I did because I like the character more, but that doesn't mean
the quantity doesn't really matter. Their amount of roguishness isn't really the point. It's just, do they personify it for you?
But they do. Yeah. But I'm like thinking back on it, like Han's kind of like the. I don't want. It's weird because I was thinking.
I don't
about
think
this
Han
the other
Solo
day.
counts. I'm a TBH.
Really? Why not?
Because
before I have a chance to explain, but okay.
Well, I just don't like to use Han. I don't know, because using a sci-fi character who shoots the pew pew lasers as like an example.
Sure,
for, like,
I can't use sci-fi
thing.
characters. I can't use D&D characters. I see how it is, Josh.
I didn't say you can't use Han Solo. I'm just saying I don't feel like Han Solo realistic.
All right, fine. Harrison Ford in general. How about that?
Just Harrison Ford himself.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I'll take Harrison Ford himself.
Well, I mean, look, I consider Star Wars science fantasy, so like I'll accept Han Solo.
They are space wizards, yes.
Yes. It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel
Space
right
wizards,
to me.
samurais.
Like, I know he's called I know he's the puckish rogue trope, but like, I don't feel like he's a rogue in the D&D last sense of the word. It's a slightly different.
Why? Just switch out the laser gun for a crossbow. There you go. Same difference.
Yeah, hand crossbows.
Switch out the white shirt for a tunic, and that's it. There you go. It's the same shit.
I mean, basically, he's wearing a tunic anyways.
I guess.
Yeah. Switch out the Millennium Falcon for a airship. I don't know, fucking fantasy airship,
Healthy
fantasy boat.
Horse.
Yeah.
Healthy as fuck horse for me.
As far as the third question goes, as we know from the glorious story of Percy Glaxton, you have indeed played a rogue.
Well, Percy Glaxton wasn't the rogue.
No, I know, but that's how we got to learning about your first D&D character.
Right, yeah, the first. Right. Well, that guy was, I think I played him to level 10 Thief Rogue, because that was before Xanthar's God came out. And yeah, the whole issue of like, yeah, thief rogue, not really good in combat. Yeah, I didn't do dick in combat. I couldn't compete. I couldn't like match up to any of my other party members. So when it came to non-combat shit, you know, I was fucking in it. But when it came to like we were fighting like giant monsters, and I'm like, fucking, I got a bow.
I got sneak attack.
I got shot him with a bow. Oh, I did sneak attack. I guess I'll go run away. I can pickpocket him, guys. Should I pickpocket the giant? No? Okay.
Like, we're fighting a purple worm. You can't pickpocket him. He doesn't have pockets.
Right, yeah. I wasn't effective in combat at all. But it was just fun being the sneaky boy, thief rogue, like trying to like pickpocket people and be literally had the human variant with lucky, and every time I rolled lucky, it failed me horribly. Never rolled better.
Oh no.
People are like, Lucky's such a broken feat. Fuck you.
It is for people with not shit luck.
Apparently.
I don't know what your problem is, Matt.
Always rolled lower.
You're just having a bad time.
I was like, I rolled a nat 1. I would like to lucky that. A 0? Neat. I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
The die
rolled so bad the die disappeared.
Yeah.
Just burst into flames.
Yeah.
Just exploded.
Yeah. So I have the thief rogue way back in the first campaign, and then Matinga, who was the Inigo Montoya knockoff swashbuckler, a vengeance paladin. Because I saw it on a Reddit post one day where it's like, how would you make this character? And I'm like, yes, genius. And
yes.
I'm reminded when Matt was like, I'm the best.
That was literally every time. Anytime that's like one of the things I like about rogue characters is that they have to like fail a lot. It's like the joke gag where, you know, like you're trying to pick a lock and the lock breaks mid-pick and you're like, fuck. Or you're trying to climb a building like I did, and then the DM makes you roll an athletics check and then you fall like 50 feet. Like fucking...
I'm sorry. I've always laughed at that idea. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the people, we keep cutting you off. I always laugh at the GM's like, your lockpick breaks. I'm like, how fucking fragile do you guys think lockpicks are? Like, I have a set.
It's because of Skyrim.
It's because of Skyrim, but also
Morrowind and Oblivion.
Well, I mean, listen,
RPGs.
I was gonna say because a lot of people don't even think of lockpicks as like lockpicking sets anymore. A lot of them think of them as bobby pins and shit. So yeah, like Skyrim, well, Bethesda games in general just kind of really screwed that
Hammered it home.
I guess so. That used to make me so mad because like I have like a really nice like set of lockpicks, and they're sturdy motherfucking tools. Like they don't like they bend and flex, but because locks are fucking tough motherfuckers to pick. Like but
they don't snap.
No,
they have to bend and
flex. Have to be flexible.
They literally have to be flexible so they don't snap. Yep. It's the same reason that traffic lights hang on loose wires. Have give.
Sorry.
But yeah.
Please go on that.
No, but yeah, that's you know, I feel like with like I said, rogues, there's that little bit of they kind of have to like fail, like you know, the same thing. I would also, so in the same realm of sci-fi, you know, Han Solo, like what about like Star-Lord? Because I feel like he's kind of roguish, like a rogue archetype character. And I feel like he's kind of the same deal. He's
more like a bard.
Bard.
I mean, you might be joking there, Sam, but that might actually be kind of accurate.
No, I it's like half a joke because it's like he's definitely, if he's more focused on like deception and stuff than actual combat. And like,
he's not.
If we're equating his guns to pew pew laser beam, I mean he's
not deceptive so much as he just like kind of pulls some like bullshittery.
It's more deceptive in combat, like ahaha he hoo hoo hoo, I'm gonna do this thing, and then he like psychs them out. But like,
it's goofy though. It's not.
And like
he is a goofy goober.
I was gonna say like one of the things, I don't know why, but I always associate, because I know you can play an uncharismatic rogue. Yeah, but for some reason, that's like my go-to is like, I want to play a sword-swinging bard, but I don't want the magic spells. Oh, hey, I'll just play a rogue.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, you can play an uncharismatic bard too, but you know.
I mean, we're the stats.
I mean, not stat wise.
Yeah, roleplay wise, but like most of the time, anytime I think of your, stereotypical rogue, I always think there's a little bit of like, charismatic you have to be.
I don't know. Whenever
Maybe.
I think of rogue in D&D, I think of that guy in the corner brooding.
The broody guy?
Yeah, the broody guy in the dark corner of the tavern. That's not charismatic.
Before he became Aragorn.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Then he became the coolest.
If there was ever, I mean, everybody's trying to recapture that when they're trying to be the broody guy in the background, aren't they?
Yes.
Except then
100%.
they don't stop the brooding and become the best homeboy ever. They just continue the brooding. Like,
everybody watched Lord of the Rings and was like, man, that brooding guy is really cool, and then forgets about the part where he stops brooding halfway through.
Not even halfway through. It's like
5
whatever.
minutes
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't. The brooding doesn't last very long, but everyone seems to forget about that part.
What's the Joe Cat meme where he's just like,
just wanna
he's like,
brood.
don't ask me about my edgy backstory. Player
much.
walks
Please.
away. No way, come back and ask me about my edgy backstory.
Wait, come back, ask me, please, I beg.
Please.
Yeah, no,
That's where I'll stop brooding.
with you.
that's fucking real. That was so real.
Yeah.
It's like, Aragorn's so cool and broody. It's like, guys, he was
not
only broody
though.
for like 5 minutes.
He's literally like the most homie there
He's
is.
a homie.
Was the homie.
Like, his whole shtick was, I'm gonna help these stupid little hobbits get that fucking ring in there, boy.
This is a general question. Has anyone ever played like a dark and brooding character? Like,
No.
I fucking tried.
I'm gonna be honest. I genuinely do not believe I am capable. I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I am either. Real shit.
I
Like,
don't think I
They always
think I could.
either end up weird if I'm like, yeah, this character's
Q?
gonna be, yeah. I mean, Q is always meant to be weird, but
Yep.
like, or I'm like, this character does not fit for what I want to do. So like, why would I ever play the broody character? I've seen players play the broody character. We've talked about the player that has played the broody character. I don't know. I sometimes I feel like they don't add anything to the game if it's like,
Because they're trying to be like the solo guy, and it's like, well, this is a
Yeah.
team-based game, dude. You should be a part of the team. No, I can't do that.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there's ways. There's some things you can do. There's some like concessions that you can make to make them still function with the team. But
the best way to do that is to have like some kind of history with another player before the game starts, so like at least there's some chemistry, and you're not like just keeping everybody out. But,
Yeah. Hi, I'm Larry, the Wild Magic Sorcerer, and this is my my rogue friend, Darkmoor.
This is my brooding boyfriend, Dark Stab McJoe.
Dark Stab McJoe. Could you?
I hate that my brain auto defaulted to John Dark Souls Cock McBiggy.
That's a good rogue name.
Yeah, like you have the best way to do that is to have the sparkly sunshine character introduce the brooding character and have some relationship with them prior, or have the goal. And obviously, players, you should talk about this beforehand if you're going to do character stuff together. At least, like in the very beginning, the goal be like the sunshiny, flowery character doesn't leave them alone in the very beginning of the game.
You don't let them brood, basically.
Yeah. So like, just like try to break them out of their shell early, so there's at least like some semblance of
a character.
Yeah. I mean, they're a character, but like it's so flat and two dimensional that it's hard. It's really hard. Dealing with honestly, as a DM, dealing with characters like that is also very difficult, because you're just like, I don't know what to do. But I don't know what to do with you. You are resistant on all fronts.
Yeah. So this is a shout out to one of my players, because she plays it's a good mix between I brood and like I seethe, but also I'm fucking she just goes full bitch mode sometimes. Shout out to you, Moon, because the way that she plays that character is like how I feel like broody should be, where it's like, I'm mad, don't talk to me, but also like I will be the first one to clap back at any chance. Like, it's great. I don't know.
Finally, an excuse for violence.
Yeah, no.
I feel like
her character is a follower of the gospel of violence.
Understandable.
My problem, Isaiah, if I were to attempt to play a brooding character, my problem would be the same problem you're having with Django, where like my urge to be like up in the shit and not be brooding and pouty all the time would be too strong that I wouldn't be able.
Yeah.
I'm too compelled.
I've thought about that, and it's really funny because Django doesn't brood at all. He's like incapable of it.
He's incapable of brooding.
He just like he's always taking in information, but it is irrelevant unless he believes that he is being referenced directly or he's in the conversation. So I just have to be like, nope. Like this is literally what my character would do. He wouldn't say a fucking word unless someone asked him directly
on this particular subject.
Yeah, I'd have no reason to, and it's just like, oh, I really want to say something though.
Suddenly, Django just gets really bubbly.
I don't know how it would
disturbing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 40 minutes deep and we haven't gotten through our starters. All right, mine's pretty quick. I mean, on a 1 to 5, I think Rogue is a solid 3 for me because as we pointed out, some of the subclasses not great, some of the abilities a little all over the place, but the main thing for me is I don't have a particularly strong attachment to Rogue. Like I don't get super hyped about like the idea of the roguish archetype. I like sneak attack, I like expertise, cunning action's fun, and like I like, you know, their abilities are like interesting and stuff, but I'm not like, when I think of characters, I don't get super hyped about, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fucking sneaky McStab man, or like fucking Suave McCrossbow Bob. Like, you know,
what are these names?
I don't know. So like they're an average middle of the road 3 for me. Like I could definitely play a rogue and have fun, but I'm not like jonesing to play a rogue. They're not at the top of my list. If someone was like, you know, play whichever class is like your absolute most favorite, it wouldn't be rogue. But you know, I don't hate them. And as far as quintessential rogue, nobody has said my pick. Garrett was on my list for sure. Ezio Auditore also on my list, obviously. However, my choice is actually the Prince from Prince of Persia.
He was on my list.
Yeah. I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, the Prince is like, if I were to play a rogue, that's the kind of rogue I want to be, right? Like the Prince is like on
Which
point.
Which iteration though?
Specifically the first game.
Okay. Yeah.
The first, up to the third game.
No, I'm sorry. Like the second game, he is not a rogue. He is a barbarian.
Oh, actually, you know what's funny? I haven't played the second game.
Oh,
actually,
yeah, no,
So the first and third game, I guess.
Take all of that like suavish, swashbuckling charm from the first game and replace it with seething rage. That's the Prince in the second game, and I love it. It's great.
Interesting,
but he's an angry boy.
Is that the one where he gets like the darker half of himself?
No, that's the third game.
No, he's actually less edgy in that game than he is in the second game. Believe it or not.
Hilarious.
Well then.
Yeah, no, and the other thing about the Prince too that I thought was really funny when I was thinking about it is the Prince has a built-in sneak attack mechanic in the first game.
He does, yeah.
Because the whole premise is you can't kill the sand zombies without specifically stabbing them with the Dagger of Time, and you can't do that without like doing some wacky woohoo maneuver bullshit to like get them in the chest or like jump over them and do a flippy dip, knock them on the ground, and then stab. Like you literally just do sneak attack all the time.
Okay.
And I was thinking about how like he solves puzzles and he's good with like contraptions and shit. So yeah, the Prince was definitely like the number one for me. It was gonna be Garrett, and then I was like, wait, I fucking love the Prince.
Okay.
Also, so it's kind of roguey that he doesn't have a name too, right? Like that actually kind of fits.
Oh,
in a weird way.
So I have a question for you, Josh.
Yes.
2008 Prince of Persia, the like weird sort of reboot that they did.
Did not play or watch it.
It's so bad.
I've heard.
What about that
bad.
movie?
So
also
like,
bad.
Okay, the movie is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I think the problem with the 2008 Prince of Persia is that it's called Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
It's a DMC Devil May Cry situation.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like I understand why studios do it because it's like, okay, we need to breathe new life into this. It's a little outdated. We could work some new stuff into it. We can do all this stuff. It's like, also it'll sell because of the name. Yep. At that point, just make a new game. I get it.
Well, make a soft reboot where it's like same universe but like different character or something.
I mean, we didn't even get that far.
The kid,
with
his
Prince
son or some shit. Yeah, it's true. We didn't.
We literally got like nothing. We finished the game and we're like, okay, cool. We've met like basically one character.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget at the end of the game is like all that progress you made. Get rid of it.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
it just
the
resets. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But it's one of those things. I didn't hate the game. It's probably one of the last one of those particular like platformers that I've played in a long time that have been like, yeah, that was an experience that I didn't hate. Like, I think the last one that I tried was oh god, what is I just blanked on the name.
I was gonna say, you good? You having a moment?
Yes, I'm absolutely having a moment. Give me like 2 seconds. You guys can talk. I just
well, final note. I have not played Rogue in any capacity at all.
Ever?
Ever.
Huh.
Not touched it. Not touched it once.
Interesting.
I have an idea for a rogue character, but I don't know where she would go. But in the back of the mind.
I was gonna say, this is not a call out, but maybe we should have used your player your core book thingy for a different class.
Why?
Oh, because you're running it in like the flagship.
Why does it? I mean, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It just that is funny.
Also, I can read, analyze.
No, I know.
You can read? I didn't know that players could read.
My God.
That being said, does anyone have any strong opinions on where they would like to take the ship next? Open at the moment. Anyone have any rants they need to get off their chest?
I remember the name of the game.
Yes.
There we go.
It's Darksiders 2. I kept trying to say Darkstalkers. Yeah. I don't like Darksiders 2.
I don't dislike Darksiders 2, but I don't like it as much as the first one.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
It's the loot system that really bothers me. If it wasn't there, I'd probably like the game a lot more.
Honestly, real shit.
That's definitely part of it. The RPG stuff was weird.
My beef is that
should have stayed as edgy Zelda.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, pretty much.
My beef is that at no point did I ever feel important.
That too.
Like, that's a weirdly specific beef, but
well, in the first game, when you're war, right, you're in trouble with the popo, right? Like, you have no choice but to be everyone's errand boy because you're in the doghouse and you're trying to work your way out of said doghouse. But Death has done nothing of the sort. He is the most powerful Nephilim in the universe. I mean, spoilers. No, he still is technically. So the fact that everyone's like, yes, you are Death. Well, guess what? My laundry's due in like 15 minutes. Go pick that shit up. And then he's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, he's always like, I can murk you. You know that, right? And they're like, but you won't. And he's like, you're right.
You are correct, sir.
It is also kind of relevant because I feel like Death, depending on how you play him, definitely feels very roguelike.
Yes.
And not like the game genre.
He does have some roguiness to him, depending on place.
Because he's very agile. His versatility is very high. He's also very acrobatic, which is why I would be like, he's not a fighter, he's more of a rogue.
Yeah, as opposed to War, who is a fucking barbarian.
He's Unga as fuck.
I absolutely love him.
I do love War.
He is like...
I love all the stupid, angry shouts they made like Brian do.
I know. If there's an edgy character that I'm like, okay, this guy right here, yeah, that's War for me.
Would you say that War's Ungamentals were on point?
Yes, they absolutely are. I also love War's stupid Mega Chad fuck off sword.
Yeah.
I mean, so over the top.
Big stupid swords are always great.
Big stupid.
Has big Frostmourne energy, even though it looks nothing like Frostmourne.
Yeah, it looks nothing like Frostmourne. I think it's cooler than Frostmourne, to be honest. I can't stand Frostmourne in all honesty.
It's a whole other.
For me, Frostmourne is the history behind the sword and not the sword itself.
Yeah, very true. I guess because it always comes up, and I guess so. I feel like we have to at least touch upon it. Although I think we're all kind of the same opinion. So sneak attack. Is it fine as is? Is it good, or does it need working?
I have words about this.
Because there's this thing out there in the internet D&D space where there seems to be these weird back and forths about sneak attack too strong, sneak attack not strong enough, sneak attack too complicated, sneak attack should work like this, sneak attack does this, sneak attack goes off too often. Like, there's a lot of
too often.
I'm raising my hands.
Yeah,
I'm waving
too
in the air.
often because a lot of people think it should only proc if you're like attacking from stealth, essentially.
I'm waiting for my teacher to call on me, even though I'm the kid that never gets any answers right.
You have a strong rant, Sam. Go for it.
All right, listen. I know I went on this rant earlier.
Fucking killed me. Oh, even though I never get any of the answers right.
Funnily enough, in school it was the opposite. They would call on me, even though I never raised my hand, because I would get the answer correct.
Sam knew the answer.
That's amazing.
It hurt a lot because I definitely wasn't paying attention. I would still get it right though, because I'd be like, "What was the question again? Could you word it better for me?" Anyways, so like, sneak attack on its own, and I had this rant earlier. If you take sneak attack away, rogue literally just becomes the skill jockey, and like even worse skill jockey than it was in like 3rd edition, because it doesn't get any of the cool skills because 3rd edition had a lot more skills that it could pick from. So like, sneak attack does not need to go away, does not need to be nerfed. It's probably fine as it is. My big thing is subclasses that augment sneak attack are cool as shit, because having different ways to apply sneak attack is very cool. Like,
because it's the core mechanic, changing it based on subclass is interesting.
Absolutely. Like Phantom Rogue, I believe that's the rogue that I'm thinking of, having you have the undead ability, or you basically, whenever you sneak attack someone, you call upon the undead to do sneak attack damage to someone else. That's cool as shit. Like, having different ways to utilize sneak attack based on your subclass would make rogue, if they had more of it, a much cooler class, and probably would just bump it up to a 5 for me if they just started adding more subclasses like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting when we get 5.5e Exord Revelator plus R Strive edition to see that. Like, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Assassin and Arcane Trickster and Thief, because I do think they'll get some interesting reworks.
I think that, honestly, I
hope Assassin becomes good, because I love the idea of an Assassin.
Same. I mean, I'm pretty sure Assassin was also like about the same level in 3rd edition. It just had some other requirements, which was
I don't know,
interesting. Well, because in 3rd edition, the difference is that you didn't have subclasses, you had prestige classes.
Yeah.
So like Assassin's requirements were a little silly. I don't remember the specific skill requirements.
Kill a man in cold blood.
It was literally just kill a random dude. Just kill someone for the sake of it. Like, I know you were joking, but that's actually it. Yeah. Like, you literally just have to kill someone. That is the requirement. Not in combat, just murk a guy. So like, you could take that in an interesting route. Like, I was planning an assassination because of X, Y, and Z, and because of that, I've become more skilled. Or you could just go up to the hobo on the side of the room and shank him, and boom, you've fulfilled the requirements. Yeah.
Well, okay then. Anyone else have any strong sneak attack
I'm not done.
opinion? Okay, Sam's still going.
He's still going.
Everybody sit the fuck down.
I think that if you take away sneak attack or you nerf sneak attack, you are a coward.
Clown.
Ooh, he used the C word.
I agree.
It's like either you don't know how to read, or you really like taking away your player's fun. Oof. Because,
or you just genuinely don't understand how design works.
Yeah,
even out on basic level.
I mean that goes with the whole reading thing, because like,
true.
So like, let's do some real basic math, okay? Unless you give your rogue,
Sam's math corner begins.
Oh my God,
Get
is
out
that
the
what we're calling
whiteboards,
it?
everybody.
Oh, my whiteboard is across the room from me, and I don't have the markers out. Fuck. So if you take away sneak attack, rogue is essentially a fighter without extra attack in combat, which means that and they don't. Hold on, let me. Yeah, so they don't get martial weapon proficiencies. They get longswords, rapiers, and short swords for their proficiencies besides hand crossbows and simple weapons. I mean, I understand why they did that, but at the same time, yeah. So you get what's the die for a longsword? A
D8 to a
D8 or a D10.
Yeah, so you get a D10 on a rogue. You get a D10 plus whatever the magic item is. That's it. That's all the damage you get from a rogue per turn. All right. So in compare, I get it. Yeah, 10d6 at level 19 can be scary when you look at it when you're just starting a game, brother. The most that they're gonna get until 9th level is 4d6, which averages out to 16 extra damage. So you get 22 damage from a rogue from a sneak attack, whereas a fighter can attack how many times at 8th level? 3 times, and they can
12.
Well, two, and then you can action surge.
Action 4, yeah.
So 2d6.
Potentially 4.
So
2d6
times 3, so 66.
86.
No, what? 4 attacks?
Said,
Are we going 4 attacks?
4 attacks.
4 attacks.
If you're using action surge, 4 attacks.
So 8d6 at level 8.
8d6.
That would be 4 times 8, 24. They do just the same amount of damage as a fighter does using action surge. Yeah, sure, you can say, they don't have to use action surge every time they do that. Okay, cool, but
they don't have to use action surge, but sneak attack has stipulations, right?
Yeah.
So
you have to fulfill certain requirements for sneak attack to go off. If you, the rogue, are fighting alone, you're not going to be pumping out that much damage unless you're a swashbuckler. Fighters can do that on their own.
Fighters just do that, and they get better AC and shields.
Yeah, crazy.
And health.
What?
And health.
Almost
fighters have more going for them for sitting on the front lines than rogues do. Yeah, front lines. Front lines than rogues do, and you take away sneak attack, rogues are never going to be in the front lines. They're basically just going to be the archer boy, which fighter can do better.
Yeah.
You basically put them in the same boat as ranger, except worse because they don't get spells unless you go into a subclass that gives them spells. So why neuter rogue by taking away sneak attack? Okay, nerfing them, it's the same boat because the math just ends up being bad,
I think I brought this up in another.
Are you good, Sam? Are you get it out?
I mean, I could keep going, honestly, but
I was gonna say, please don't tempt him. I know Sam; he can keep going.
Okay.
All right. I bring this up only because it's relevant, and I may have brought this up in an earlier episode, but in very early GM of mine, trying to get sneak attack was like pulling teeth. Most of us were rogues in some capacity for raisins, and it was always at first it was oh, well, you have to be hidden, and we're oh, but that's not what the rule says. And he was no, you don't understand, that's how it works. And we were I don't.
You're it doesn't though.
I don't know about that. And yeah, and as we got more experience, we were no, that's definitely not how it works. And it unfortunately for a while it got really combative to where he was no, I just don't think you'll get it. And we were what?
He was just deciding on certain.
Yeah, at some point. And eventually we talked it out, and we were okay, my guy, we understand that we're all really overpowered based on a decision that you made, but you can't keep doing this to us, my guy. And eventually everything sort of worked itself out.
That's another thing. DMs being well, you shouldn't get sneak attack because you're not sneaking. Yes, I know the name is
Yeah, that is my. So I was gonna say my two complaint, or this is kind of one complaint actually. My complaint with sneak attack is not the mechanical design in any way. I think it works perfectly fine. I like it a lot. It's just it needs rewording. I think the name. I don't know what it should be, but I think we need a rework on the name. And I think the paragraph that explains how it actually works needs a little bit of retooling. But other than that, I'm good.
So I think, and here's what I think. This is why I think sneak attack as a name is fine. It's because of how video games work and how they're always like, you do the sneak attack. Everybody understands that. Okay, I won't say everybody. Anybody who has played any form of stealth game or game that has assassinations or whatever will understand that sneak attack specifically does not mean that you're stealthed and you're gonna stab him in the back. Like, I get it.
I want it to be like trick attack or something.
I don't like
what?
I don't like low blow, because low blow means to me that you kicked him in the nuts.
Yeah, that's like more dirty fighting than trickery.
Like, I can't think of a name.
Because really all sneak attack is you're hitting the idea of it is you're hitting a weak point.
You're either hitting a weak point or
catching a distracted foe.
Yeah, it literally says you know how to strike subtly and exploit a foe's distraction.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I understand where you're coming from. I do, but I also feel like sneak attack, the way that it is worded currently, to most people, they'll just understand that this is not specifically like, oh, I'm doing this from the shadows. It's more, I'm doing this like as a maneuver versus that. But I understand why you would think that sneak attack is not a great name. And I know we've had this conversation in the past, and like, I mostly agree with you. It's just that, like, you know, when I think of Rogue, unfortunately, I also think of WoW. And like,
same. But in that you did have to be stealth.
You did have to be stealth, yes. But like, there were rogues that could do it without stealth as well. You just had to do specific things. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I know, right?
Didn't play a rogue in WoW.
Played a lot of rogue.
Or played very little. I played every class in WoW, but very little.
Played a lot of classes in WoW. I don't think I played them all.
But I played everyone at least.
I didn't play WoW.
There were classes that I didn't play until after Cataclysm, and I said, wow, I wish I played this before Cataclysm.
Same.
Like Shaman. Man, I wish I played Shaman before Cataclysm.
Yes.
That class became something completely different.
Siree.
Either way, you know, sneak attack being named sneak attack is a little wonky, but like, most people, unless they're brand new to video games and tabletops, will understand what sneak attack means. Oh, well, not brand new, but relatively new.
Speaking of abilities, let me just say, just to kind of run the list, expertise is dope. Cunning actions fucking sick. Love uncanny dodge and evasion are great. Reliable talent is thematically very cool. I don't know if it's the most useful thing, but thematically very fun.
I mean, you literally just experienced reliable talent the other day said, why the fuck did I even ask you to roll?
It's an interesting
and it was
thing.
Only for persuasion and deception.
This is true. Blind sense is certainly interesting. I didn't realize that was the thing they got. Slippery mind is random as fuck. They just get wisdom save proficiency. I mean, I guess, sure.
Yeah.
Elusive. Sure. Interesting idea. Stroke of luck. Their level 20 ability. So I just want to say, because it occurred to me with the other classes that we didn't bring up level 20 capstone abilities. So just to run the gamut real quick, level 20 fighter ability is a fucking joke. It's just a 4th attack. Get the fuck out of here. Level 20 sorcerer ability is a fucking joke. It's just LOL, here's some sorcery points if you don't have any. Level 20 wizard ability is okay. It's all right. It's not amazing. It's all right. Level 20 rogue ability. I'm not sure. Let me just read this. Hold on. Let me just read it verbatim so we all know. At 20th level, you have an uncanny knack for succeeding when you need to. If your attack misses a target within range, you can turn the miss into a hit. Alternatively, if you fail an ability check, you can treat the D20 roll as a 20. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. I get thematically what we're going for. It's like you're so good at the thing you do that you just literally cannot fuck up. But it's not the most exciting thing in the world, you know?
Yeah,
I get it.
true.
Bad, but it's like, Also, it says you count the D20 rolls at 20. Do you count it as a crit?
Yeah. Well, it's for an ability check. So.
Yeah, I would say
Oh,
so.
it's an ability check, so it doesn't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I like,
Right.
if you do count, ability checks and other shit as crits, then yes, I would say
Right,
it absolutely matters.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
So I have a few points to make towards this.
I guess my main thing is, are we for or against? Are we into Stroke of Luck? Or
I actually like it.
I like it.
Same.
Yeah.
So here's my thing.
I think it's a dumb
Rogue?
name, though. I don't think it's I don't think it should be called Stroke of Luck. I think it should be called Stroke of Skill, because it's about how. I feel like it's supposed to be about how good you are at shit, not luckiness.
No, I think a part of being roguish is always having Lady Luck on your side. So I think it fits.
They don't have luck in any other ability.
And
No, it's
I
like
don't
the thematics of a rogue.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is,
it's
if part
why
of the
Han Solo succeeds all the time.
Right.
'cause he's just
I
like-
get that, but my point is, if luck is supposed to be part of the theme, why is there no sort of luck element in any of their other abilities except for the level 20? That's kind of weird, you know?
I just think it's the thing with media, honestly. Like I understand why you're saying that it should be part of.
I'm just saying
their
mechanically,
overall-
give them another lucky
that's what I'm saying.
ability thing.
I'm literally agreeing with you. I understand that it should be part of this, but I understand why they would name it Stroke of Luck, because in media, rogues tend to be lucky and they're like, oh man, I failed at doing the thing, and then it just works anyways.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
It's like, picture this, Josh. You level 20 party, you're fighting Tarask. It's down to 1 HP. The rogue throws the dagger, it's about to hit, and he's like, I want to use my Stroke of Luck to hit the Tarask. Yes, the rogue kills the Tarask. Legend for all time. Saves the day.
I'm not questioning the theme of it. I'm just saying, if luckiness is supposed to be a part of a rogue, then it should be, you should get it before level 20.
Yeah. No, yeah. I
And
see
then
what you're saying.
upgrade it at level 20.
But also, like, again, I'm sort of iffy on the ability. Like, it's solid, but it's not super exciting.
So as a level 20 ability, I understand what you're saying. Like, I get it. But then you also have to think about it like this. Rogue gets 2 extra feats.
True.
It do be getting those feats.
So it just gets extra stuff
Well,
over
I
other
hate
classes.
I hate that I have to always add this stipulation. It can get 2 extra.
I mean, if you go fully into
Can.
rogue, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I
Yeah.
mean is, if you're using feats, it can.
Right, but most people
Alright.
nowadays...
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying we have to always put that stipulation out there. It's
Why?
Literally, if anybody doesn't use feats, I'm gonna go here and say this again. You're a coward.
I'm just saying.
I
My
think it's one
point
of those
is-
things where I get it, because I was on that side too, but I think thinking about it more often and how much people nowadays,
I know,
they don't treat,
but-
and we talked about this in
Hold
the
on,
feed
hold
episode.
on, because I know what you're about to say, but you have to, again, I've said this a million times. It doesn't matter how we treat feats now. The class was designed with the understanding or the assumption that feats were optional, so you can't factor them into how the class was designed because they didn't bank on it.
I get it.
I
They also
disagree
still
with
What
that
take
they
statement.
were
extra-
banking on, what they were banking on, is rogues getting more ASIs. That we know for a fact.
I mean,
obviously.
either way, rogues are still gonna have more
which is more stuff, I guess.
stuff
Yeah,
than
more
other
stats,
classes.
you know,
They
buffer
get
stats.
more.
More dexterous.
The way that they think about their class and how they build their character is completely different from other classes because
This
of
is
that.
true.
So like having a level 20 ability that makes it so that they're just better at doing a particular thing, like even if it's just once. Also remember, it's short or long rest, so like
It is short or long, which is cool.
which is good.
I like that it's on a short. It feels kind of weird that it's only once, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it would definitely be ridiculous if it was,
efficiency times.
proficiency
Is it every
based.
6?
Yeah, you could
That'd be a
just
bit
use it
much.
6 times per long short rests, be a little bit much. And then you could be like, but also like it could be, ability score tied. It's like if you're a rogue and you see this ability and you don't go, so I'm gonna make an ability score 20.
Yeah.
Like again, it's like you're getting so many uses out of it. I understand why they would do it that way. I think it probably should have been like twice, maybe 3 times. But yeah. It's because of how rogues are designed overall. I think that it's okay, especially because like if rogue got something super crazy, like they can do sneak attack twice, their DPS output at level 20 would be dumb.
So I'm gonna be honest. The thing I was kind of thinking is, I Assassin's Death Strike, but as rogue level 20.
No, I don't
That's
think it's
probably
worth it.
what I would have done.
I don't think it would be worth it at that high of a level.
I mean, I don't mean verbatim. Like you
would have to change it because
you make some adjustments to make it a little bit more powerful. But I think Death Strike is a really good like style of capstone.
Yeah, Death Strike is cool and all.
The other thing is, the other thing is, if it was up to me. Well, first of all, it was up to me. D&D, the wacky woohoo high fantasy stuff would be even crazier. But I would potentially have some weird shit like you enter fucking Night Shadow mode and like cannot be seen for the entire like for a minute or so, like permanent invisibility, like something crazy stealth.
I think that's a Shadow Monk thing ability.
Something crazy.
So we're gonna go back to Death Strike real quick. Just read it for everybody so you don't have to look it up. Starting at 17th level, you become a master of instant death. Very edgy. When you attack and hit a creature that is surprised, it must make a Constitution saving throw, DC 8 plus your Dex mod plus your proficiency bonus. This is at level 17, so it's already pretty high. On a failed save, double the damage of your attack against the creature. If that were the level 20 capstone, and I know you said not verbatim, but you have to do it to a creature that is, with the keyword, surprised. Like hasn't acted.
Take away the surprise part. That would be step 1. Make
it
so you can just choose to do it.
It would probably just, I mean, at that point, I would be like, okay, so it's going to be, you have to decide before your roll, much like Reckless Attack. Yeah. And you get it as like either your proficiency bonus because it's the level 20 ability, or there's some other downside to it. So like you can essentially, because it's like doubling the damage of 10d6. Plus a d8 plus all the other modifiers is
it's a good time.
It's plus ridiculous.
Plus a vicious weapon. Plus a you can get pretty wild with it.
You would do so much damage. That right there, I would understand if a DM was like, all right, we're gonna have to talk about this ability because at level 20, I understand the damage output is ridiculous, but doubling it. Double. You just straight up double. You don't have to double.
That's rad.
You don't
That's rad. Wacky woohoo pizza time, Sam.
You don't double pizza time. You just double damage. So like you could get the best roll ever, or you could get the worst roll ever, and you're still doing double damage.
I just love the idea of you walk up and go, I just blow you the fuck up. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why Assassin is just not as good as it could be, and that's because they were like, we have to make sure it doesn't proc at stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Because if it did, the way that it's worded, it would just kill things.
It would.
I mean, obviously,
it would
almost
just be
like its
walk up down
namesake.
smash. Yeah, like
Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to down smash.
Fucking meteor smash.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even. I don't even want to talk about the rest of the Assassin because it's just kind of.
Anyway.
I
don't know. I
say that. I'm sorry. I say that, but then I remembered that Assassinate just makes any hit you score a critical. So.
Only against surprised enemies.
Only against surprised enemies.
No, that hasn't taken a turn in combat
hasn't
yet.
taken a time.
So if you have Death Strike,
it's great for
and
one
they're
turn.
Surprised. You're getting a guaranteed crit with double damage.
Yeah. It's very good for the first turn, but that's.
And then you throw in Stroke of Luck.
I mean, I get it.
Literally guaranteed crit with double damage.
I get what they were going for. The idea is, you're an assassin, so you're trying to kill them in one shot.
Yeah.
before they can do anything.
What would that damage output look like if you were a level 20 assassin with all of the initiative boosters?
Give me the number for
oh Christ,
for the weapon, because 10d6 would be 30 average, or not. It would be 36.
Wait, shouldn't it be like
average.
a finesse weapon, not a
36
longsword?
average.
But nobody picked a weapon yet. What are you talking about?
We'll do rapier. Rapier is like the
I was
quintessential
gonna say,
rogue
assuming
weapon.
it's a rapier, it'd be a D8.
Okay, D8. So the average there would be 5. So the average for the dice roll, you double that. So 46 for the dice plus modifiers. We'll assume that they're plus 5 to dexterity. So 51. And then what magic level are we talking?
Magic level?
Yeah, like plus 1, 2, 3.
We'll call it a plus 3. We'll call it a plus 3.
I mean,
plus
assume
3.
they have at least a +3 weapon.
Okay, so it's 108 damage.
Yeah.
From the first attack in combat.
What
Average.
What do you-
Average.
So because I was just think you wouldn't you like sextuple the damage or something like that?
So you don't. No, you. So the thing is that because it's a crit, you double the dice from the rapier, but you don't double the sneak attack dice. So you get 36 from sneak attack because the average.
Well, no. If you roll a crit, you double all dice. If you roll a crit, you double all dice.
including crit sneak attack.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. You
Yes.
double all dice for the damage.
Okay.
All dice.
All right. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how I did my math anyway. So I'm not gonna lie because it's a D6. Let me just. That'd be 48 instead of 36. So you add an extra 24 to that. It's still not like that crazy. But yeah, no,
it's good. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of damage.
You multiply
but
the damage essentially by the average, essentially by 4. That's what it is.
Yeah.
With this death strike. But like, again, average, because crits double dice, but they don't double damage.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the chances of you actually getting
You
said
could roll
average
shit.
are, you could just absolutely roll shit. So like the average damage would be, it would be an extra 24 to 108 would be 132 damage average.
That's
Which
not
like
bad.
at level 20, it's not bad, but it's not amazing.
True.
Like-
True. That is like that's your ace in the hole that you just burned.
That's like a level 10 boss monster.
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, it's not bad, but like you expect it to, or
Yeah.
but it's
Now if you roll max damage.
yeah, right.
Then we're talking
wacky
just
woo
100.
time.
Now we're just talking 240 damage alone from the sneak attack.
Yeah,
dice.
yeah, that would be something.
Yeah. So like, it is quite literally the rogue says, I gamble. Gamble.
Yeah, I mean, the crux of it being, I don't hate Stroke of Lek, but I don't know if it's 20th ability.
I just think that rogue gets so much that it kind of doesn't
It's hard to come up
need-
with a level 20
It
thing.
kind of doesn't need a massively overpowered level 20 ability in comparison to some other classes, just because again they get
Sam,
they
level
get 2
20
extra
go
A's.
burr.
Yeah, we just described how an assassin rogue at level 20 can get 240 damage
True.
from sneak attack dice.
True.
Like, yeah, sure, that's, turn 1, they're surprised, whatever, doesn't matter. It's still a lot of dice, still a lot. And I can guarantee you that as long as they go first, they get that, or before something, they can get a guaranteed crit no matter what. Yeah. That being said, more rogue subclasses need some way to modify their initiative bonus.
True.
I think that's just.
Why is that not part of Assassin? Why does Assassin not get some sort of initiative bonus?
Honestly, I think that should just be part of Rogue.
Base Rogue.
Yeah.
I just think that should just be part of base Rogue. Honestly, like you could probably just
Interesting
take
idea.
away blind sense and then just throw in an initiative modifier in there, because like they get enough, just abilities straight up throughout their levels as a class that you could just put that in there. Because like blind sense is cool and all, but like
Not that important.
not that important. Or slippery mind. and like it makes sense for you to get initiative bonus kind of later in the game. But then
I
things
would
like
take away slippery.
yeah,
Just kind of
Hold on, let me read that one more time just to double check what my thoughts are on it.
on slippery.
Yeah, I like
Just
read
get
over it. Really.
wisdom saving throws.
It's nothing.
It's
It
proficiency.
literally just says
Ah.
you have acquired greater mental strength. You get wisdom saving.
I mean, I
That's
don't
it.
think it's
That's your
bad.
level
It's
15.
just
It's
I
not
didn't
bad.
say
It's
it was
just
bad.
not.
It's just fucking
just
boring
level-
and random.
It's
Well,
also
because-
level 15.
It's also
right.
level
Yeah, it's level 15, but it's also like one of the most used saving throws in the game.
Yeah,
that
that's true.
normally
Yeah.
the rogue
This
wouldn't
is true.
get without taking
Yeah.
a feat. So it's like,
Guess what,
Yeah.
Matt? Good does not equal fun
uh,
necessarily.
it depends on the game. If you're playing in a game and a lot of the enemies you're fighting or a lot of the bad guys are charming you and trying to scare you, it's like, man, I'm sure glad I fucking have wisdom saving throws now.
That's not fun though. That's just you being like, thank God my DM can't punish me as much. That's not
Shrug?
fun. It's literally saving throws are not fun. Like
I mean,
I find saving
I-
throws to be
Shrug.
like not a fun mechanic.
I
by
will say
base.
being charmed or frightened can be really annoying.
No, it can. I'm not
Honestly.
saying it can't.
So
I'm
like,
just saying
I,
in the
it
grand
would take
scheme of
away
things,
from my fun. I just think that it should not be a level 15 ability.
it shouldn't be level 15. But in the grand scheme of things, look at it this way. You're playing fucking D&D and you're like, oh, sick. I hit level 15 as a rogue. I wonder what cool ability. Oh, the ability I got does not change the way I play the game in any fashion. Right? Like this new ability I just got at a very high level, I have entered tier 4, does not change the way I'm playing my class in any sense. I'm doing absolutely nothing different. It's just a passive thing that I get that will come up sometimes.
It also-
I don't know. Actually, hold up real quick. Wait. I actually kind of disagree with you on that one.
It comes
What?
at level
It's literally
15.
it's a passive ability. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it'll still change the way you play.
How?
So if you have proficiency in wisdom saves, you'll be more ballsy to get out there and go up against wizards who, as a rogue, will destroy you. You'll probably
So-
get a little more ballsy and act maybe more like a mage slayer.
Like you're better at resisting charms, frightened, and other like assaults of
Niche
willpower.
scenario.
Like,
okay, I won't say niche.
but
Yeah, definitely
I
not
won't say
niche.
niche because there's a lot of things that do that at 15th level. My problem is that it's level 15.
You're not actively. My point is, you're not actively doing anything. It's not like a thing where I'm actively doing something or changing or using something new. It's something I already had. I just get one extra little tick on the box, right? Like you already have saving throws. You just get one.
But you don't have that saving throw particularly.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Unless
but
you
you're still
took
not
it from a
doing
feat.
anything or activating anything or like reacting to anything. You know, it just happens. It's a passive. It happens. That's it. Especially because 15 is when you enter tier 4. That makes it especially like, bruh, the fuck? No? Like, I'm not against the ability as an idea, but it's way too high level, and the fact it's the only thing you get at 15 kind of silly. Also, fucking passives, man.
I mean,
What's wrong with passes?
Like, I know, like,
hold on, let me
9
look
times
this
out
up.
of 10, they're boring. I think that's how I feel about video games too.
Oh well, I mean,
Most of the time, passives are boring,
I'm-
uninteresting
I'm gonna be
in terms of how they're designed.
I want to be so real.
Not all the time.
Usually, I really like when I get passives because I get stressed out when I have way too many actives. So when something's like, don't worry, game,
but, like-
we cover this for you, and you're like, oh, okay,
Like,
thank God.
a passive, so like a passive ability, like a passive ability that you actually actively think about every once in a while is fine. So like, what expertise? Paladin's auras, expertise. Those are passive things. That's like they are passive. They're always there. I don't have to say I'm doing anything, but it's something that I will consider every once in a while when shit's going down. Slippery Mind is not like I'm not thinking about any extra steps. It's just when I get hit with a wisdom save, I might go, oh yeah, I have proficiency in this now. Like that's it. You know,
You wanna know something interesting about,
there's no neuron activation.
I mean,
so like
I'll
passives that
just-
have
I'll just keep quiet.
procs
It's fine.
or passives that actively modify your gameplay, like your plan, your strategy. That stuff's fine. But a passive that just is sort of there and it happens to you and that's kind of about it is like, meh. again, I apply this to video games too. This isn't even tabletop specific. This just tends to be a problem in general. And I get it. You can't have a bazillion actives. I'm not saying that. But
you're saying Sam.
I know. It's fine. He just kept going on a rant.
I'm sorry. I'm done now. I let you rant about sneak attack. I'm done now.
No, I just wanted to say that like Rogue is, I think, one of 3 classes that actually get something specific to the class and not like a subclass or archetype at level 15.
Oh yeah, that might be true.
Like I think Warlock and Barbarian are the only other 2 that I can think of, because like other casters I don't think get anything at 15. I think Paladin and Fighter get an archetype thing. What about Druid? I didn't check Druid. But my point is that like Rogue is one of the few things that classes that actually just get a thing. Yeah, most casters just don't get anything at 15.
Barbarian gets persistent rage, which also kind of much like fucking Slippery Mind, kind of whatever. It's fine, I guess.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so
hold on.
I persistent rage is good, but the thing is that if you think about it, all persistent rage does is allows you to step away from combat for a round.
And still be exactly.
That's
because at
basically
the end
all
of the
it does.
day, you're very rarely worried about like running out of rage is pretty rare. You know, like your timer actually running out the whole 10 rounds, pretty rare.
Yeah, so
it makes persistent rage kind of like
yeah. It's just kind of...
It is kind of funny, though, that you can, like, finish a fight and be like, still angry!
Yeah. Well, I see it,
that's kind of funny.
I see it as it's a buffer, right? Like, because if the GM is smart, right, and he's running intelligent enemies...
Yeah, it's a buffer for the whole problem of I have to hit something, yes.
Yeah, so I think that in of itself makes it worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. Not like amazing.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, it doesn't change, as Josh was saying, it doesn't really change the way you play.
Doesn't drastically change.
It allows you to do kind of like one extra thing, or maybe play it a little bit smarter,
a little safer.
Like you're a barbarian at that point. At level 15, you got such a huge fucking
Such
hit
a brick
pool.
shithouse anyway.
Yeah, like I don't know, if you're carrying at that point, you're probably getting hit with spells and shit.
Oh, you want a big Lamau? You know what Monk gets at level 15?
What?
Timeless Body.
Oh
yeah,
see,
that one's kind of
okay. So 4 classes. Four classes that have
I think
a 15
so.
thing.
What the theme I'm sensing here is level 15 abilities are just kind of whatever as fuck across the board.
Unless they're an archetype specific, yeah.
Unless they're an archetype thing. You're right, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I feel like level 15 abilities were never meant to be like
apparently
huge.
Not.
No, yeah.
Weirdly specific choice, but apparently not.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, because like casters literally don't get a level 15 ability. I think they just get better spell slots.
They get spells. Yeah.
Let me look at a full caster list.
That is quite funny. Ranger and Fighter getting.
Yeah, because at level 15, casters get level 8 spells.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing that they get. They get level 8 spells.
So 15's just kind of
yeah. It's pretty much it's the classes like you reach the 4th part of the 4th tier.
You reach tier 4. What do you get? Cookie.
Yeah,
I guess.
Like they're just kind of underwhelming.
Weird discovery we have made.
Yep. It's not that they're not. I mean, I feel like some of these definitely are a product.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
we shouldn't make these things too strong.
Slippery Mind is from a quote unquote balanced meta perspective. It's pretty strong. I'm not saying it's weak. I'm just saying it's not particularly exciting.
I mean, I don't think everything has to be exciting, but I think that
for me,
level
it's all
15 for all the classes being like, okay,
that's
like
weird.
if you four classes get a class specific thing and they're all kind of they're strong, but at level 15 it feels like at that point it should have just already been a thing. Or you get an archetype improvement, which for other classes that have good archetypes, that's amazing.
It's a way bigger deal.
For spellcasters getting 8th level spells, that's amazing. Like it quite literally is the 4 classes that have a level 15 ability tied to the class. It's just underwhelming in terms of how the game is currently versus how it was. Because, like, yeah, wisdom saving throws are strong, but 8th level spells, though.
8th level spells, though. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I just, at the end of the day, for me, it's like, I don't
Okay, they also get 8d6 on their sneak attack, which is like...
Oh, that's nice. You know, for me, it's like, I don't really give a shit about something being like meta effective or like, you know, oh, this is super good and super effective for this X, Y, and Z thing. I just care about things being like thematically and fictionally interesting, a new toy to play with. So, you know, the argument of whether things are good or bad, I do not really give a shit if things are good or bad, as long as they're not so bad that they're like unplayably bad, you know? Like fucking Assassin's stupid spend money to impersonate people ability that I keep forgetting the name of. You know, that one's like almost unplayably bad.
Yeah, because
almost.
I mean, I like it. It's just unfortunate that it has zero use in particular campaigns, and then like some.
It's like, all right, guys, we're doing a jungle expedition campaign. You're like, oh, sick.
Why did I play Assassin?
I guess I can pretend to be a monkey.
No.
Speaking of, by the way, I not that this is like a bad ability, but can we just, I don't know, steady aim is kind of LOL about.
So I understand why.
I get why they put it there, and it's not a bad ability, but it is kind of funny that why doesn't Ranger get it, and B, it's the only thing Rogue got in Tasha's, which is kind of funny to me.
The fact that Ranger doesn't get it is the funny part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
yeah, come on, guys.
I
get it. I get what the point of it is, but it's, you know, it's just
I think it's
like,
I think honestly because like between the player's handbook and Xanathar's guide, the rogue is pretty good. It's done.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I don't
really
think they
good,
needed
yeah.
like didn't need any new spells. They didn't need any tweaking to like certain things. They didn't need to add another thing to add to sneak attack. It's just like here's just one idea for cunning action. Otherwise, I think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Wizards because they're like we don't really have to they're like we need to worry about fixing the Ranger. Rogue, we're gonna leave the Rogue alone.
I mean, like Rogue's base kit doesn't need to be fully it doesn't need to be worked with. It's just the archetypes need to be adjusted because some of and this is for most classes.
Some are
archetypes now are really like way better. Just way better in general.
Better design, more fun, more powerful.
I don't even care about more powerful. Just
I don't either, but a lot more.
They're either thematically better,
more fun and interesting,
or they actually work mechanically. Yeah. Versus again, Assassin. Like Assassin's the easy one to shit on because
we're being really mean to Assassin.
Because the problem with Assassin is literally that you only get to proc its ability once every combat, and that's like an if.
I think we should shit on
17 ability. Also, not great.
I think we should shit on Inquisitive next. You know,
what about Mastermind?
Hey,
no.
Mastermind's good.
Whoa.
I haven't really looked at Mastermind.
Will you put respect
Inquisitive
on
is very
name?
funny to me.
Mastermind is it's support rogue, and like it's really good at it.
Yeah, bonus action, help action
at 30 feet. Bonus action help at 30 feet. That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's their level 3 ability, which is fine, but like. Okay, you give someone else advantage. That's cool and all, but like, not always the best. Because, sure, you know, as a rogue, your bonus action isn't used as much unless you're using cunning action. You know, but like, now you have to decide between cunning action and Master of Tactics, which is the name of that ability, by the way.
Hold on, I just want to mention a little thing that's kind of funny about Steady Aim also is that Steady Aim uses your bonus action, and they gave it to the class that's already using its bonus action all the goddamn time.
Yep.
That's because it's part of cunning action.
Well, because it's part of cunning action. Same thing with Master of Tactics.
But like, again, Ranger.
Master of Intrigue. So like, I won't give Mastermind the benefit of they give you the two, like a combat ability.
Yeah, they give you a combat and a social one.
A social one together rather than.
I was just looking at that.
But also Insightful Manipulator. Any ability that requires you to observe a target for a period of time, to me, is fucking garbage. It's not like, look.
I get what they were thinking. I get what the train of thought is, right? Because the train of thought is, you're a mastermind rogue. You're not going to run straight into the fight. You're going to spend time analyzing your enemy. The problem is that the way people play and the way games are run is generally you get jumped.
Yeah.
Right? Like most of the time you're getting jumped. You don't have time to play.
Assassin's real bad.
Which is also why Assassin's bad. Exactly. So it's like
Misdirection is good.
It's kind of it's sort of reliant on how your GM sort of does it, right? Like, you know what it is? You know what it is? Stuff like Assassin and Insightful Manipulator. Oh, I just had a fucking revelation. Oh my God. You know what part of the problem is? And I've heard people say this about some of 5e design before. The problem is nobody does dungeons anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Because Insightful Manipulator and Assassin are really good if you're doing dungeons all the time, because you're slowly checking rooms, sneaking around the corner, listening in. You're doing all that like pre-planning stuff in a dungeon because that's how a dungeon works.
Dungeons and my Dungeons and Dragons?
That's the thing, though, right? So few people run dungeons on the regular anymore, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm not. So few people run dungeons now that a lot of these abilities that make a lot of sense when you're focusing on the dungeon run don't make as much sense. I mean, I've literally even heard people say that the martial caster disparity is better if you run dungeons, and I have legitimately experienced that myself, and it is 100% accurate because I ran my players through a dungeon and they burned out of ammo for a lot of their spells and shit, and it was true. Suddenly the caster's not as strong.
Yep. So continuing down the mastermind, your level 13th ability
at a moment
is cool when you think about it. Beginning at 13th level, you can sometimes cause another creature to suffer an attack meant for you. When you are targeted by an attack, while a creature within 5 feet of you is granting you cover against that attack, you can use your reaction to have that attack target that creature instead of you. So the key word here is granting you cover against that attack.
That's
the problem with
that's
it.
too specific.
So
it should just say, if you have an ally next to you, you can be like, LOL, take this arrow, homie.
Or just have a creature within 5 feet of you.
Within 5 feet of you.
Yes, I understand that's strong, but like quite literally the wording of it makes it real bad.
Makes it, and then it goes from being strong to useless because of that one part.
Yes,
not useless, but pretty.
It's so niche.
It's really niche.
And then Soul of Deceit, their level 17th ability, means that you can present false thoughts when someone's trying to read your mind through telepathy, but otherwise they can't do it unless you allow it. And also, no one can tell if you're lying through magic.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, sure,
and you can't be forced to tell the truth by magic. That's a level 17 ability.
Yeah. Fun time, not level 17 worthy.
Like Mastermind at level 3, great. Level 9, level 13. Oh, this sounds great. And then you actually like read it, and then level 17 is kind of whatever, because at level 17 it's like, I feel like this should have been the level 9 ability.
Well, with the 5e subclasses, it's like you get the coolest ability at level 3 because of course you do get in the beginning, and then most campaigns end at 10, so we don't have to worry about the higher level ones.
But again, they don't do this anymore, right? Because let's look at the level 17 for the Phantom Rogue, who's quite cool, right? Your association with death has become so close, you gain the following benefits. When you use your Wails from the Grave, you can deal necrotic damage to both the first and the second creature, which is that ability where you split your sneak attack, essentially. At the end of a long rest, a soul trinket appears in your hands if you don't have any soul trinkets, as the spirits of the dead are drawn to you. Soul trinket is a whole other mechanic they get on top of their normal shit that lets them do a whole bunch of shit. And basically it's saying you have this ability all the goddamn time. So it's like, that ability, it's funny because that seems like a bad passive until you realize that it makes their main shtick even better and is like modifying it. So it's like, yeah, they don't do that anymore, thank God. Also, soul knife is like so much shit. Jesus Christ.
I really like the Soul Knife. I think it's so fucking cool.
Let's read the level 17 for Soul Knife. Rend Mind. You can sweep your psychic blades directly through a creature's mind. When you use psychic blades to deal sneak attack damage to a creature, you can force the target to make a wisdom save. If the save fails, the target is stunned for 1 minute. The stunned target can repeat the saving throw at each of its turn, ending the effect. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend 3 psionic energy dice. That's pretty sick.
My thought is like, what are you gonna do? Step two.
Exactly.
It's like the old cartoons where like. Is the old cartoon where like the dude's like showboating and the big monster like whacks him on top and it just takes everything from the top jaw, from the bottom jaw up off.
Yep.
It's just
now granted that ability
so
does have the problem of saves start to get real wacky woohoo at higher levels. So you know, failing is a problem.
I want to talk about one of the other subclasses that like barely ever gets mentioned. Scout.
Scout? Yeah, I knew you were going to
Scout.
Yeah, Scout.
Scout
cool.
is like, so the thing is, there's like literally the only ability that I don't really like about Scout is its level 9 ability, because you get 10 extra movement. That's it. There are so many classes that get 10 extra movement, which is surprisingly good for a rogue because, you know, bonus action dash.
True.
So like
it is worth pointing out too, though, that the ranger gets that at like level 4 now.
So many classes get it. It's kind of whatever. But the thing is that like
maybe level 6.
Third level, you get skirmisher, which is if someone moves within 5 feet of you and it's an enemy, you can just use your reaction to move 15 feet like, away or 20 feet away, and it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
Yeah.
Survivalist is good because, you know, if you're running that kind of game,
proficiency.
it's extra proficiency and it doubles those proficiency checks. So like, cool, it's nature and survival, which may not come up in your campaign, but like, even if it doesn't, it's a level 3rd ability that's tied with another one.
Weird
so it's
that
not
it
like you're
doesn't
losing
use
out.
The word expertise in that ability. And that's like an established
it's because
tag.
Expertise is not actually, it's not a tag though, it's an ability.
Yeah, I know, but like the fact that
That's
it doesn't
why.
mention, you say, like, I guess that kind of makes sense.
That'd be why. It's the whole, it's an ability versus a tag thing. I get it. But Ambush Master is a better version of Assassin.
Wait, is it?
Yeah. So you
advantage
have
on
advantage in initiative rolls. In addition, the first creature you hit during the first round of combat becomes easier for you and others to strike. Attack rolls against that target have advantage until the start of your next turn.
Oh, your next turn.
Your next turn. So
yeah.
if you go first, which you probably will because you have advantage on initiative rolls, everybody gets to bully beat down that loser.
Fuck up that bugbear.
Oh my god.
So like, it's just a better assassin ability. And then there's sudden strike, which is you get extra attack and it can proc sneak attack. As long as it's a different target from the first sneak attack.
I
but
mean,
it's like,
that's pretty good though.
That's pretty good
That
though.
shit's wild.
Because at 17, you're getting like what, a whole extra 8d6 on another target,
another dude,
plus another attack as a rogue. That's wild.
Good lord, think about this hypothetical. You sudden strike somebody, your first attack is a natural 20, you get your second attack, you go, well, I'm just gonna fucking the stroke of luck this into a 20.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wow.
You're basically just assassin but better.
Yeah,
kinda.
This is literally
you also have some rangery shit going on with you.
I like Scout is never talked about, but like,
it is weird. Scout doesn't get brought up at all, huh?
Like at all.
It's because Scout is not super interesting thematically. I understand why.
Yeah.
But like, Scout on its own, Scout is probably what I would say Rogue should just kind of it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I understand why Rogue has this. Rogue should just have this.
Yeah.
Like advantage on initiative rolls. That's wild. I think Rogue, like it again, you know, going to swashbuckler Rogue, I think Rogue should just have some form of initiative modifier. Like, but like they clearly know that Rogue benefits from having some kind of initiative bonus, and then adding on top of that just makes it better. So
Swashbuckler also has the Swashbuckler is not bad. Swashbuckler though also has the problem of being the front-loaded stuff very good, the later stuff Elegant maneuver. You can use your bonus 13th level.
Yeah.
You can use your bonus action to gain advantage on the next acrobatics or athletics check you make.
Master Duelist is pretty good though. You miss an attack, you roll it with again with advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna use it once.
And it's a short rest though.
Short rest, but it's level 17. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's still good though. Like,
yeah, it's not bad.
Especially I guess, for the one-on-one like combat.
I guess the thing that you might not consider with that particular thing is it guarantees sneak attack. Because it gives you.
Yep. No matter what the issue is, hey, I missed this roll. I absolutely have sneak attack now.
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah.
And I get to roll 3 dice instead of 1 die, which is mathematically superior.
True.
Yeah, that's
true. Panache.
Wow, I should just make a scout. Scouts are fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, scouts are cool.
I think my next rogue is definitely gonna be a scout.
Scout cool. So it's really funny because like Xanathar's guide is it has the problem where they still didn't 100% feel like they wanted to do with 5th edition, but like half of the archetypes are not great, but the other half are pretty good. Like,
well, it's also kind of funny how like Mastermind and Inquisitive shit. But like Mastermind and Inquisitive feel like we had an idea for an ability and then we stretched it out into a whole ass subclass.
Yeah, because like I said before, Mastermind is like it's really good at early levels, but then like the abilities kind of fall off because
Inquisitive's level 17 ability is kind of funny. Well, your insightful fighting feature applies to a creature, your sneak attack gets extra 6. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I mean 13d6 versus 10d6 is good, but like I don't know.
I mean, I guess
it definitely doesn't feel as strong, you know?
Yeah, I don't. And insightful fighting is.
The fact that you have to do a wisdom check or an insight check versus a deception check is the problem.
I'm out here laughing because Lupo watches this. He's been listening through our catalog, and I just can't wait for him to get to this episode and him be like, "So I have some objections to make."
It's just like. Listen, I understand that like if you really like a particular archetype, that's fine. I like to look at these things like if you're gonna make an archetype, it should make me feel like everything is useful. Yeah. Like and yes, everything will be useful in a niche. But I would rather
eye is fucking what the
unerring eye, yeah.
Your senses are almost impossible to foil. As an action, you sense the presence of illusion shapechangers not in their original form, and other magic designed to deceive the senses within 30 feet of you, provided you aren't blinded or deafened. You sense that an effect is attempting to trick you, but gain no insight into what is hidden or its true nature. You can use this a number of times equal your wisdom modifier. It's like, again, cool.
And it's also on a long rest cooldown.
Yeah. Again,
hey,
cool, you know, but like should be attached with something else.
Or instead of an action, a fucking bonus action.
Oh yeah, why is it an action?
It's an action.
What the fuck?
Like, Jesus. Using this in combat basically throws away your turn.
Yeah, you throw your turn away, and it's not, and not for anything particular. Like
you just know
it's an illusion. Is that helpful? Maybe.
In certain circumstances, yes.
In some niche,
going to the niche things, I feel like if you're gonna have an ability that has a niche, it should be tied into another ability that doesn't have a niche.
That is less niche. Yeah.
Just like, here's the good ability. Here's the ability that works not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah. Here's the niche that you should have. Broad ability that works well, and then niche ability that's really strong when it comes up.
Yep.
Should be general.
At least just make it feel better when you, because like, going back to Mastermind, Misdirection, this would be great if it had something else tied with it because of the specific wording, cover against that attack. Like, the creature has to grant you cover, which almost never comes up.
I think that is a problem a lot of the time I have with the way 5e is. And again, I do think we're getting better at this. the designers, is that a lot of the time 5e will have these abilities where it's like, this is a really niche ability, but it's not strong enough to justify how niche it is.
Yeah. Or
right?
it's
never,
so far down the line that like most people don't reach it because
you don't even reach it.
they multi-class into it for like their level 5, 6 ability as a class, and they don't reach level 9 or level 13 where these niche abilities always show up for some reason. Because like, and it's just so weird for archetypes to have niche abilities because you're like, okay, all right, I'll take that back, roll it back. Archetypes should have niche abilities because
niche abilities are fun because when they come up they feel cool.
Well, yeah, they're fun, but like what I'm saying is that archetypes having niche abilities is what makes them archetypes, because it's what separates them from the other archetypes. Instead of this one just gets more damage, but also this one gets more damage. That's like why Scout having the ability to do 2 sneak attack rolls versus Assassins, I just double my damage on one target, while very close to being the same thing, are completely different. They do more damage, however, one does it a different way than the other. Also, Scout has it all tied up into one ability rather than 3, sort of. Which is just, that's a whole other thing. I feel the nicheness needs to be tied with something that helps it be, I'm not taking this class because this will never come up.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't want to have an ability so niche that it just doesn't happen to them.
Or they don't have something to supplement or complement or just exist outside of this, where outside of the vacuum where this ability, the niche ability, is useful, because inside of a vacuum all abilities can be fantastic, because like sure,
all of them
swashbuckler
all
rogue,
of them hypothetical,
gaining advantage on dexterity, acrobatics, and athletics checks, sure, you're great at getting out of grapples with a bonus action. Right. But like, how often do things grapple you that you're having to do this? And like, how often are you having to make acrobatics or athletics checks during combat other than grappling? It's that being a level 13 ability on its own and not having something else tied with it, even if it's the same ability. It doesn't have to be something different. Just, it makes it feel like, okay, so this is great in a vacuum, but like, when am I gonna actually use this? Swashbuckler rogue at level 3, fantastic. The level 9 ability, it can be very good if you're like a tanky rogue. But like, level 13 is cool. I can't build to make this useful. I can't force it to be useful.
I can't.
Mastermind with misdirection, you could probably force it to be useful. However, that also requires like casters and archers to attack you specifically with things that target you. So also, like no saving throw skills.
Also, having to force something to be useful is like kind of hard.
It can be awkward, but like if you, rough. The player, are it can be easy to force or hard to force. Like misdirection would be definitely harder to force because it requires certain elements to be in play. Unerring Eye literally cannot force. But then like, Ambush Master, it can be very good. You might not pull it off, but you can manipulate the game to give you better initiative through either feats or increasing your dex, or just having, other modifiers thrown into it through feats. So, there are ways to do this that make things better, but like having to be the player forcing the game to work better
to
than
work
it
for
was
you,
designed.
to obey you.
Yeah. But again, like some are easier than others, because like Ambush Master is definitely easier than Misdirection, and like I said, Unerring Eye, literally impossible to force because it has not only a range, but it requires very specific things to be around you in that range, like an illusion. So So if a wizard casts an illusion spell and like pretends to have summoned a monster, and that monster is not 10 feet from you, you can't tell if it's an illusion or not.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, actually, Matt, you've been quiet for a while. What you got? Any thoughts?
30 feet. 30 feet. Sorry. 30 feet's still small though.
Matt, you have any rants?
No, honestly, because I don't even think about the Inquisitor or Mastermind that much. I'm just kind of like been reading the Arcane Trickster and stuff for a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been kind of waiting.
You have any strong comments about Arcane Trickster? I haven't really looked at that.
I
mean, I like spells,
it.
But
Spell
like
Thief is a fun ability to high level.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it should be level 13.
Maybe
so. The thing with Spell
17.
Thief is, and the nice wording here, it's like it could be any spell. It doesn't have to be a wizard spell, which is cool. Yeah. But it has to be like what level 17 you can cast.
You need to be able to cast it, though.
It has to be able, like you have to be able to cast it.
So it can only be a 4th level spell at highest.
Third level. Well, if you're 17th level when you get it, it's third.
Yeah.
But if you're 20th level, then yeah.
You get a 4.
So,
and if you're
best case, I steal the wizard's counter spell. Worst case.
Yeah.
Worst case. I mean, you can steal Fireball.
Yeah, you can steal Fireball. Yeah. But no, like, I don't know. It's kind of I like the class. I'm just kind of reading a lot of the spells and the wacky nonsense you can kind of pull off with it. And really especially out of the 3 core rogues, the ones that came in the player handbook. Yeah,
it's definitely the most interesting out of them. And like I do love the idea of Arcane Trickster, but I remember when I first started playing 5e, I looked at Rogue and said, "Ouch."
Magical ambush though. Such a such a
yeah. I can't even. We didn't talk about this when we were recording, did we?
Why is it an oof? I actually kind of like that.
Okay, so think about it like this. So you have to be hidden. And in combat, how often are you hidden?
Or it's, I mean, you can, but it's...
You can be.
I would say...
And like bonus action hide is cool and all. It can come up, but your DM has to allow you to hide.
It also...
It depends on the area.
Also, side note,
I would say...
It's called magical ambush. I feel like an ambush should give me a little extra damage, and it...
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't do anything for attacking spells, right? Because it gives disadvantage to the saving throw. So if it's not a saving throw spell, it doesn't fucking do anything, which kind of sucks.
I think the intended use for this, and this is the example that I used earlier, before we were recording and talking about this. Magical ambush is good for things like you're infiltrating a place and you use illusion magic.
Yeah,
that is a great use.
So you mean like I was saying about the whole if you do things in a dungeon, the game works better?
Pretty much.
Once again. Yeah.
Well, so going back to I gotta yawn. Oh no. Yeah, no, because you're saying like, how often do you hide in combat? I would argue quite often. I think it very much it depends, but it I think what matters there is I feel less so your DM and more so your playstyle. Because if you're not a rogue who gives enough of a shit, right? If you're like more a dedicated ranged user, or you've constantly got people or enough fighters in the front line to sort of like move in, get your shank, move out, then yeah, I'll say you're hiding a lot. Like I've played rogues for sure where every 2 seconds, like roll to hide, roll to hide, roll to hide, roll to hide.
Right. The problem is that the way the hide mechanic works is you have to have something to hide behind or in or around, right? Like you can't just hide and you can't just like stand there and lower your own opacity. You have to be able to hide behind something.
So another thing
there are situations where it's like, no, there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, there are some situations, but very rare, I feel.
There's also the problem that at level 9, you only have second level spells.
Yeah,
which is fair. And you only get 6 of them.
Also fair.
So and that's kind of the problem that I have with Arcane Trickster in general. It's like a quarter caster, because you get 1 4th level spell at level 19.
Yeah, I don't know why they weren't willing to just make him F-caster.
Yeah, I know. Arcane Trickster, and this is kind of the reason why I look at Arcane Trickster and weep a little bit, because it's not a half caster, and I feel like, okay, yes, it's an archetype rather than the class itself, but I feel like because you're dipping into this archetype of I am the magic thief, you should have more. So, like, yes, your playstyle does go into it, because, you know, if you're doing this for like illusion, because illusion magic is pretty strong. Or, you know, you're using something like Fireball at 14th level or 13th level, because that's when they start getting level 30 spells. You know, you can use this effectively, but it's like,
yeah,
your spells are so limited at this point that it's.
Well, so think about it this way, right? If you take Hold Person, which an Arcane Trickster can take, and you magical ambush somebody with a Hold Person, then they're paralyzed, you are gonna fuck that person up. It really doesn't matter. As long as they're of the humanoid type, so like Death Knights and all that other shit, you're fucking that person up really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also probably like when the game came out, because if you look, the Eldritch Knight, it's the same thing. They only get up to 4th level spells at 20th level. So
that's why I said,
kind of,
you know, the fourth caster, you know, kind of an archetype specific thing rather than a class specific thing. I understand. I just there are, you can do specific things with it, but as a rogue, yeah, sure, disadvantage on saving throws it makes against the spell this turn, cool. It's just it comes, the way that it's designed feels like it could just be just a little bit better, and it would be great, because Arcane Trickster has tools. God, I realize what my problem with Arcane Trickster is. It is when you spread yourself too thin to be the jack of all trades, where the whole like phrase jack of all trades, master of none, it is incomplete, but like being a jack of all trades in a game like this, where every level really does matter, not as much as some other games, but like it does matter enough. Having something lackluster or giving up things for something maybe menial, because like you got to remember, at a certain level, things like second level spells, unless you up their cast or whatever, aren't going to be as effective, because saving throws, sure, they have disadvantage, but like, you know, level 9, what's the proficiency bonus at level 9 for like monsters and shit? Well, I mean, it's
3. Same thing as everything else. +4.
It's level 4. It's +4. So like I get +4 to it. Their stats are going to be that much higher. Like disadvantage means a lot. Yeah, you know, they have to roll 2 dice, and mathematically it hurts them more. But like, there's always the chance that it's just not going to work out. You know, because of what level you get out of that is what I'm saying. Because you're having lower level spells at such a high level that it just doesn't really work out for you in the end. If you think about it mechanically, like, sure, it's great, but like, if you know, there's one way to make this better. Until your next turn, it has disadvantage on saving throws against spells until your next turn.
Against all spells?
Against all spells until your next turn.
Including allies?
What does Scout do?
True.
Scout does the same thing, just with attacks. So, you know, make magical ambush the same thing as Scout's level 13 ability. Boom. That much better.
I actually don't know about that, because spells can become so crazy. Like, is it worth
higher level spells?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it worth letting a wizard, like an evocation wizard, get a free disadvantage disintegrate off? Like, I don't know. That's kind of wild.
Hell yeah. Letting things get an entire party get advantage on attack rolls is also wild.
I suppose, but I don't think it'll ever hit the same level, right? Like, unless you have a party of all paladins and they're all smiting.
Oh boy.
then then you'll get some crazy results. But if you've got, let's say, a cleric and a wizard, and one does the fire pillar, I can't remember what it's called, Sunstrike, or is that what it is? Sunbeam? I think it's Sunbeam.
I don't.
And the other does disintegrate. That's like an easy 150 damage.
Yeah.
And that's not like I'm just saying, like, because magic is so much more powerful than standard martial attacks, I think giving disadvantage on all magic would be a little game breaking.
I don't really care. I don't think
you can not care. I feel like
balance be damned.
I think that if you're going to give some, I'm like, at that point you could literally just be like the next spell as well, or like one other spell, or
the next
like
spell
there are ways to balance it. Like there's ways to balance it, but like I feel like things like magical ambush could be stronger because it only synergizes with you, and like, yeah, sure, hold person is great and they can take hold person, but like if they still succeed, that's it. You now have to hide again, and then do it again, and like you can only do it so many times. So like I feel like abilities like this should have some kind of stopgap just in case, especially because I think archetypes should synergize more with party play than just singular play as well. I feel like the game does not.
That is a broad statement. Yes.
Yes.
I feel like the game does not really go with the party is synergizing together to do things versus, well, I do my turn and then he does his turn.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, most of the time it's fighter and spells.
Right, yeah.
Like it only works with fighter and spells, or if you've dipped into fighter, because like, or scout. Scout's great because it gives everybody all martial character like advantage.
Not to shit on your bubble. Not to shit on your
I feel like
I know your ranting muscle was out of fucking control today. You went ballistic, my good sir.
I feel like I make good points.
How about just as a no, I'm not saying you didn't. I just think it's funny that you just went full monkey gorilla man today.
Because I like rogue.
Gorilla.
Gorilla.
How about we just real quick rattle off favorite rogue subclass and just a brief why. Whoever wants to start. Or I can start because I do have my answer.
Yeah, why don't you start?
My favorite one's Phantom by far. Just because I can't, like, the theme of like spooky, ghosty, I talk to dead people like ninja stabby man is just too fucking good. And like the tokens of the departed thing where it's like I get these weird fucking trinkets from the dead ghosts that like give me different abilities. It's too fucking, it's too good. It's too sick.
I agree.
I do like Scout and Soul Knife quite a lot too though. Okay. And I want to love Arcane Trickster. I just kind of can't.
It's just lacking something.
Yeah.
Look at that little extra oomph.
Yep. Isaiah,
yeah, I'll go. I mean, it's Soul Knife. The idea
Soul
of
Knife,
being Psylocke is fucking sick. Like,
yeah, Soul Knife's just.
Yeah, it just the flavor for Soul Knife, the ability to like change
Summon
the flavor.
Magical knives.
Yeah, well that, but like, you know how I always play classes not with really any intended canon, but how I think it will look cool based on that character, and Soul Knife has so much potential for that. It's craziness.
True. Also, God, it's so funny looking at if you ever need to get a good gauge on how much the design style of 5e has changed, look at the third level abilities for Soul Knife and how much shit there is in there compared to like the third level ability of Assassin. It's just like, wow.
It's actually kind of insane.
It's quite funny. Matt?
Swashbuckler. Being able to 1v1 someone, use
Classic.
your charisma as a rogue. It's pretty great.
Classic.
Classic.
Damn.
You know, as a person who has played a Phantom and a Swashbuckler, I really like Phantom. Unfortunately, I never got to use its later abilities, so I don't really know if they're, super how they feel to actually use. But thematically, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It really is Phantom. Like it's just so cool. It's just so cool.
My desire to play a Van Richtenskide Reborn Phantom Rogue is very strong.
Understandable.
That's very fair.
Yeah. It's too good of an idea to be like a fucking Frankensteinian rogue, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have to look at all the abilities again of Phantom, but like it's just cool. It really just
Phantom
is cool. Phantom cool.
Alrighty. Been fucking sessions canceled. Follow us and/or subscribe on your podcast platform of choice, and follow us on the very exciting Twittoverse, the Funny Bird Blue app.
I love the Bluebird.
Bluebird.
Bluebird. Herb do be blue. Becky, I got you some blue.
Let's get out of here.
Let me smash.
Goodbye.